Acha. Hi guys, can you hear me? Can you hear me? My voice is clear. 1 minute, let me cross check. Hi guys, can you hear me? Acha, now I can hear, right? Sorry. Fine. Okay, so let me start from the beginning again. So basically, this is a data engineering class where we are trying to understand about the data engineering services, like how the data engineer, how to start your career as a data engineer. Okay. So as we know that, as we know, why we need a data engineer in the market, right? What is the reason behind that? What is the need of data engineer? So basically, data engineer is a person who is going to process your huge amount of data. So it is going to process your huge amount of data, and by looking to that data, he is responsible to take a decision that how can I increase the business. Okay, as I said earlier also, if I want to take the example of all these big OTT platform, right? You take an example of Amazon Prime, you take an example of your Geo Hotstar. Earlier it was Hotstar only, nowadays it is Geo Hotstar. You take an example of any OTT platform. So all these OTT platform are actually checking your behavior whenever you are watching certain type of movie. Just take an example. Nowadays I'm quite interested to see the season of Panchayat, right? Nowadays everyone, right? So this is a new season which has been currently released on Amazon Prime. And whenever I'm watching this Panchayat, which is the second part or third part, I'm not sure. I think it is the second part. Whenever I'm watching this Panchayat second part, so automatically it is recommending me the first part also. So if I just see on my right hand side or in the suggestion, I can see there is a Panchayat first part is there, and automatically it has started giving me the suggestion of a series which is similar like Panchayat only. So this is how it is happening. This is all happening because of the data engineering services only. You take an example of Amazon. You are going to the Amazon, you are trying to purchase a camera. Wherever you are going on the Google now, you go to the YouTube, you are searching something. Everywhere on the right hand side, you will find there will be a advertisement of the camera will be there. So whenever you are watching that advertisement again and again, again and again, again and again, there is a very high chances that you may click on that advertisement and you may purchase that camera also. So basically, this is helping you to increase the business. This is helping you to increase the business. So the main purpose of data engineer is to increase the business. So that is the reason all these big giants, you take an example of Amazon, Google, Facebook, Netflix, your Amazon Prime, all these e-commerce, all these OTT platform, all these search engine related companies, everyone is looking for the data, and they have huge amount of data is there. So when I have a huge amount of data, that data cannot be processed. See, every system have some limitations. I may process 1 terabyte of data or 2 terabyte of data or 3 terabyte of data. More than that, I cannot process the data. So what I need to do, if I cannot process a data, that data is very big for me. Any data which is big for me, we call it as a big data. What we call it as a big data, that is a big data for me. And how can I process this big data then? For that, earlier they have started a framework, we called it as a Hadoop framework. So Earlier there was a technology, we called it as a Hadoop technology was there. Nowadays also some projects are using. Now single system, you take an example of single system cannot process a huge amount of data, which is a big data. So basically what we do, like let's take an example. I have one laptop is there. This laptop, it is of size 16 GB RAM is there. I can increase the RAM. I can increase to the 60, 16 to 32, 32 to 64. You will be in a situations where you cannot increase the RAM beyond that now. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. So this is called scaling. Basically I am scaling. When the business is scaling, I need to scale my resources also. I need to scale my resources also, which is my vertical scaling, which is limited now, right? It is limited. You take an example of my laptop. My laptop cannot extend beyond 32 GB RAM. It is not possible. So instead of processing this huge amount of data, which we called it as a big data, there is no fixed size of big data. Big data can be anything, 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte. It can be anything. So any data which cannot be processed by my system, now that is a big data for me. So instead of doing vertical scaling, people try to do the horizontal scaling also. There are two type of scalings you can do. Normally when I purchase a laptop, after purchasing laptop I find like, okay, my laptop does not have sufficient RAM. Sufficient RAM is not there. Sufficient RAM is sufficient memory is not there. So what I did, I increased my RAM. So earlier I got 8 GB, I increased to the 16 GB, then I increased to the 32 GB. More than that I cannot increase. That is the maximum capacity of my processor, which is my vertical scaling. So instead of that, what we can do, we can do the horizontal scaling also. So what they have done, instead of having one server, they have added multiple servers now. So earlier a data was processed by one machine. Now it has been processed by multiple machines, and all these machines are internally connected to each other. So whenever you have multiple machines are there which are connected to each other, we called it as a cluster. What we called it as a cluster. What is cluster? Cluster is like a family. I have multiple people are there in my family who are working together, but they are calling it as a one family. That is a single family. We call it as a cluster. I have multiple node are there. Even though we have multiple node are there, and every node have allocated memory is there. Let's say it is allocated 16 GB, here also 16 GB, here also 16 GB, here also 16 GB. So basically the work which was done by the single person or single node, now it has been distributed. Now it has been distributed among the multiple node. So basically I am looking for a mechanism where my work will be distributed. So this distribution of the work was earlier done in the Hadoop framework by the processing engine. We called it as a MapReduce. Who was doing this? MapReduce was responsible. Earlier the MapReduce was responsible to process your huge amount of data, but it is distributing the load also. Like let's take an example. I want to process 1000 GB of data. Earlier it was done by one node only. Now since I have four nodes are there, what I can do, 250 GB will be processed here, 250 GB will be processed here, 250 GB will be processed here, 250 GB will be processed here. Now we have multiple people are there who are working together and processing the work, because we have multiple nodes are there. That is called cluster. But MapReduce was very slow. When initially this data engineering, or we called it as a Hadoop developer started na, MapReduce was very slow, because the intermediate result it was storing on disk level. The intermediate means, I'll tell you one example. Let's take an example. I have this CSV file is there. I am going to load this file somewhere. Okay, let's say I'm going to load this file, and if I'm doing the filter na, that filter operation was stored on the disk level. Again from disk you need to read it to the MapReduce. So Basically, it was very, very slow. If someone is asking you that who is faster, your hard disk is faster, or basically your storage is faster, or memory is faster, memory is always faster. So they thought like, okay, we need to find out the mechanism where processing will be done in the memory. They thought like, okay, we want to find out a mechanism where the processing will be done in the memory, and that is the reason they have come up with the project. We called it as a Apache Spark. So the work, what is this Apache Spark? Apache Spark is also processing. It is mainly useful for your processing purpose only, processing of your huge amount of data, but in the distributed manner. Distributed means basically you will have multiple node will be there who will distribute the work among each other, so that you can process huge amount of data, and performance will be also much better. Performance will be also much better. So Spark is almost 100 time faster than MapReduce. If you compare it, the Spark was 100 times faster than MapReduce. So what they have done here, you will have multiple node will be there. Node means multiple server. Whenever I said a terminology called server, server means basically you consider that it is like a computer only. Those people who think that what is server? Server is one physical machine. So you will have master node will be there, and you will have multiple driver node will be there. Multiple driver node. So node number 1, you will have driver node number 2, you will have driver node number 3. You will have multiple node will be there. I am assuming that I have 4 node cluster. Let's take an example. I want to start my Spark project. So the first thing which is coming in my mind, that how many node will be there. Okay, so I got to know that okay, there are 4 node are there. How many node? 4 node. Among that, one is my master node and 3 node are worker node. 3 node are worker node. So basically it is a master slave architecture. So you might be thinking that okay, but what is the purpose of this master node? What is the purpose of this driver node, right? On this master node, you will have a cluster manager will be there. Cluster manager is responsible to provide the resources. What is the use? Provide the resources. What is mean by resources? You take an example. Assume that I am getting a data from different sources. I am getting a data from different sources. See, I have a very big business. I have a business in the world. So when I'm getting the data, I'm getting a data from different sources, right? You take an example of bank. The banks are getting a data also from different sources, correct? So let's say I'm getting some data from the databases. Let's say I'm getting some data from the some flat files. Let's say I'm getting some data with some API services. Let's say I'm getting some data through website. From different ways, right? We can get a data. Let's say I have already stored some data in my cloud also. So what this Spark is doing, earlier it was MapReduce. Spark is very powerful, very powerful. This Apache Spark, what it is doing, Spark have the ability to read the data from any sources, wherever you have a data, in any format. Basically there are two type of data will be there: a structural data, semi-structural also I can consider, and non-structural also, unstructural data also. Semi-structural data means a data which is available in the form of tables, database tables. So I can process database related tables. If I have a data which is available in the files, I can do that. Let's say you take an example of medical, right? So in medical, you are going to write down on in the form, like you are getting some form and you are writing down. That is sometimes it is a PDF, sometimes it is Excel, it can be anything. Let's say you have data coming from your API services, like I'm getting some leads through Instagram, Facebook, right? We are getting those leads. I'm getting some data from my website. Some people are coming to my website, they are doing the registrations. I'm getting those data. Let's say I have some data which I already stored in the cloud. So Spark is a very powerful mechanism, a powerful framework. They have designed in a such way that a Spark can take the source, your input can be from anything. Let's say you have your data available in the database. Okay, I can process that. You have your data available in the Hadoop. Let's say I have my data available in the Hadoop file system. Let's say I have my data available in the normal file system, local file system. No problem. I can take that. Spark doesn't require anything. He can process a data from any sources. And then once you get the data, then you can perform your business logic here. Business logic means, let's say all this data which I'm getting, some data is not important. I'm getting some columns. Those columns are not important for me. See, I have huge amount of data in my sources, but all the data is important? No. I'll use my business logic and then I will get my meaningful data at the last. So when this process is going on, when you do filter, sorting, joining, you are doing all these operations over here, right? So do you think that when this job is running, doesn't it require the resources? If I just open the Excel sheet also now, if I just open the Excel sheet and if I'm doing any copy paste anything, it required a memory, right? When I say resources, it means you need CPU, you need RAM, you need storage, right? Where you are getting this? Spark is just a processing engine. So he will just do the processing. Like let's say I'm getting a data from different countries. Just assuming that I'm getting a data from India also, China also, USA also. Spark can take the data from all the countries. But let's say I want to do filter. I want only India data and USA data. This filter can be done by Spark, but when this Spark is doing filter, it required a memory because it is a huge amount of data na? It required a CPU, it required a storage to store a data. Who is going to provide that? Spark is just a processing engine, right? And because of that only we have created this cluster. We created this cluster here. Which cluster? We created this 4 node cluster. So first of all you need to go to the vendor who are selling this cluster, who are selling this node. You need to check many things. See, when you are purchasing any physical machine, do you think that it is easy to manage that? No, it is not easy to manage. So this is also one problem when whenever you are using Spark, Apache Spark, because it is a product of Apache na. So you may encounter hell lot of issues also. Apache means it is completely free of cost. You can use it free of cost. You don't need to have any license. But what is the challenge with the Apache Spark? What is the challenge with the Apache Spark? The main challenge, okay? The main challenge with the Apache Spark is infrastructure. Infrastructure. Main challenge. See, I have what I'm trying to see. I have a setup of Apache Spark. I know how to write down the code. But in order to execute that code, we need compute, na? We need resource. Where is this infrastructure? This infrastructure where we need to spend a lot of money, hell lot of money. Because first of all, we need to purchase a server. But do we have the money to purchase a server? Do we have money to purchase a server and all? Like this is where cloud is playing a very important role. This is where the cloud is playing an very important role. So I'll talk about how cloud come into the picture and everything. But before I proceed, just wanted to know that are you able to understand? Yes or no? Can you please use the chat option and all? Till now, whatever we have discussed, are you able to understand, guys? Sunil is saying yes, Mohan is saying yes, Shivraj is saying yes. Fine. Okay. Okay. Able to understand everyone? Okay. ठीक है. So when you are using, whenever you are using this infrastructure, whenever you are using this Apache Spark, I know that Apache Spark is very good in terms of processing of huge amount of data. It can distribute the data among the multiple node also. But how far it is easy to manage the infrastructure? It's very difficult. You take an example, okay? Let's say in future, I want to do the installation of Apache Spark. Who is going to do that? Okay. Is it that easy? I want to do the installation of Apache Spark. See, when you want to use this Apache Spark, you need to do the installation also, right? While doing the installation, I got some error message. Do we have any godfather who is going to help us in Apache Spark? Because since we are not paying to anyone, there is no one who can help us, right? You need to wait for the next update only. You need to wait for the next update only. Assume that the Apache Spark which I'm using, it is outdated. It's outdated, okay? It's quite easy, old one now. And I want to upgrade my software, right? When you are upgrading the software, you are facing a lot of challenges. There is no one who can help you. There is no one who can help you in the upgradation also. You need to completely rely on the next update which is coming from open source technologies. Apart from this, lack of user interface also. User interface means, let's take an example. I want to write the code. I want to write this Apache Spark code, but where to write, right? We need a software now where you are going to write. Just take an example. I want to write any Linux command, so I can use this mobextem and all. I want to write down Java code, so we have Eclipse is there. We can use PyCharm also if you want to run all this code. But again, these are not the one who are provided by the Spark only, right? So you need to completely rely on third-party softwares also. Again, it is not completely free of cost. If you are using in real-time production environment, you need to pay the charges to use that softwares. So you do not have any interface where you can write down the Spark code. And let's say this Spark is basically you are processing huge amount of data. That data is also very important, right? What if someone, while processing this data, we got some security issues, right? We got some bugs. There is no one, right? Security issues you may encounter, right? You are using this Apache Spark technology. Okay, let's say someone added some sort of external code into that because it is open source. So you got some security issues. So the person who founded, the people who founded this Apache Spark, they have given it to the Apache, which is completely free of cost. But later on, they have founded the company, we call it as a Databricks. They only founded the same company. So basically, the person who founded the Apache Spark, he understand the problem. What is the problem? Okay, he know that coding wise no problem. Okay, this is good. But what about the infrastructure? So they found out the company for Databricks. What they have done, they have taken the same code of Apache Spark because it is open source, and they modified. What they have done, they modified the code of Apache Spark in a such way that it is almost 10 times faster, 10 times faster than Apache Spark, 10 times faster than Apache Spark. And they have provided a software, which is that software we called it as a Databricks. So Databricks is a company name. Who is the founder? The person who founded this Apache Spark, they invented the company called Databricks. They invented the same product called Databricks, which is actually which is actually the Spark, Apache Spark. He is the core technology, and then they founded this Databricks. But whatever the challenges were there in Apache Spark, they resolved in Databricks company. Like it is much faster, 10 times faster. See, from map reduce, it is 100 times faster, Apache Spark. But from Apache Spark to Databricks, almost again 10 times faster it is there. Because they have modified the code, because they are the founder, na? They know where is the problem. And you don't need to worry about the interfaces and all. Like if you want to write down the code, they have provided the interface like notebook. So the notebook is basically this is a notebook. They have provided a notebook. Under that notebook, you can write down your code, your Apache Spark code, your Spark code, or your Databricks code. When I say Databricks, it is basically your Spark only you consider internally. So they provided you interface. By using that, you can write down the code also. And apart from this, they also thought like, okay, it is a time, it is a time. This Databricks, what they have done? They started doing the collaboration with multiple cloud platform, right? They started doing the collaboration with multiple cloud platforms. So the first partner, the Databricks has partnered with Azure. So if you use the Azure cloud, if you use this Azure cloud, you will find the Databricks over there. You will find the Databricks. So whenever you are trying to understand the data engineering, you might have heard about the terminology called Azure Data Engineer. Azure Data Engineer means this data engineer related services like Databricks. You can find out under Azure Data Engineer. You can find out under Azure Data Engineer. So whenever you are using Azure services, whenever you are using Azure services, you need to pay the charges for two things. And not only in Azure, this Databricks, do you think that it is only offered by Azure only? No, Azure is one of the person, like the first managed party service, I would say. And then after that, they have also done the tie-up or collaboration with AWS and GCP also. AWS and GCP also. So if you want to use this Databricks, you can use it along with Azure also, AWS also, GCP also. But Azure play very, very important role as a data engineer. It has a very powerful services specific to the data engineer. Azure play very, very important role. But all these cloud platform, when they are available in the market, do you think that they are completely free of cost? No, it is not free of cost. It is not free of cost. You need to pay the charges. You need to pay the charges. So there are two type of charges are there. One is infrastructure charges, and second one will be your software charges. So whenever you are using these services, data engineering services on cloud, there are two type of charges you need to pay: infrastructure services, infrastructure related, and software related. What does it mean? Just take an example. You are going to the Azure and you are saying that I need 4 node cluster. You need saying I need 4 node cluster, and under that 4 node I want to use the Databricks services. So this Databricks is a software which is running under this 4 node, because whenever you are writing down the code under Databricks, you are writing down some code, okay, you want to process huge amount of data. For that, what you need a compute, right? So you need to pay the charges for your compute also, you need to pay the charges for your software also. Software provided by Databricks, compute provided by cloud platform. Compute provided by cloud platform. And that is the way, by having this collaboration, data engineer play a very very important role. Because cloud provider, you take an example of Azure or any cloud provider, they have a very very big centers are available, zone we say, regions we say. They have a huge servers with huge amount of resources are available. You just say that I need, see, if you want to purchase any software, or if you want to purchase a server, it is very time consuming process, right? It is very time consuming process. Let's say I have purchased a server with, let's say I have purchased a server with 512 GB RAM. Okay, I think that I need this 512 GB RAM. I want to increase, let's say I want to increase my RAM from 512 to 1024 GB RAM. I want to increase it. Is it done quickly in physical server? No. First of all, you need to purchase. Let's say you purchase this 1024 GB RAM, and after that you think that, Arey yaar, I don't need this much. I need only 215 or 215 GB RAM only. Can you decrease it now? No. It's not that easy. But it become easy whenever you are using the cloud vendor, whenever you are using the cloud platform. It's very easy. The day when you want more resource, you can just click and you'll get extra resources. So scaling is very very important. If you want to scale the business, or if you want to lower down the resources, you can do that very easily whenever you are using the cloud platform. Whenever you are using the cloud platform, if I want to create a cluster, if I want to create this cluster, data engineering related cluster, I can create that within 2 minutes. Okay, I need 16 GB RAM, I need 4 core, I need 8 machines. Very easily I can do that. So that's the magic of a data engineers on the top of this cloud. That is the reason it has a big demand in the markets specific to the Azure data engineer. So whenever you have any issues, your Azure will help you. Like, let's say you have some issues with your Databricks, Azure will help you. Okay, till now whatever we discuss, are you able to understand, everyone? Okay, please fill up the form which is available in the chat options. That will be good for you. Till now whatever we discuss, are you able to understand, everyone? Please use the chat option and let me know if you are able to understand. Okay, so yeah, so basically we are starting a new batch of data engineer. Okay, so those people who are interested to start your journey as a data engineer, you can reach out to the Learnomate team. You can fill up the form which is available in the chat option. You can also call us on the number which is available over here. Okay, and let me know if you have any questions. If you have any questions, you can ask me, guys.
Yeah, I am.
Yes,
Myself, Mohan. Actually, I'm looking for like a Postgres. This is related to Postgres.
Postgres, we have a training in the next month. You can join there.
Okay.
Snowflake will not be covered with this training.
Okay.
Okay, all right, yeah, so thank you so much for joining. Okay, let's connect in the real class now. Okay, and thank you again. I hope you people have enjoyed the today's session. But if you still have any questions, queries, anything, you can fill up the form, or you can call on the number which is available in the chat option. We can discuss. Okay, and then let's see. Okay, thank you for giving your
Uh,
valuable time.
Hello,
Yes,
Uncle.
yes, please.
Yeah, am I audible? Yeah. So, which services are we going to use in the means in that class? And means do we get means any uh, platform to means uh, Means use the cloud, or do we need to purchase a services as we do for the practice?
No, actually, whenever you are logging to the Azure for the first time, so for a limited time, it is completely free of cost. Okay, that is first thing. Again, Databricks have the free edition is available. That also we can use. That is actually lifetime free of cost. We can use that. And apart from this, let's take an example. You want to create any services. Okay, you can you can go and you can just create pay as a service, but it is not chargeable much, it will not take much charges. Only the thing is, once you use, you need to just delete those services. So I'm using pay as you go type of services only, and it will hardly take 1000 rupees also, even if you uh, play too much. Okay, so first of all, we have free things are available provided by Azure itself. Second thing is we have free editions are also available. Third thing, if you even if you go pay as you go as a services now, still it will not chargeable. Okay, it's not that chargeable. So we can do the practice over there. Apache Spark we are going to cover in this training. We are going to cover your Databricks, Data Factory, SQL, Linux, Synapse. Okay, all these things will be covered along with this training, and including your projects also. Okay,
So what will be the course duration? 3 months.
2 to 3 months it will go. Okay,
Okay.
Batch is going to start.
okay guys, yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Bye bye.